Imagine this. You're driving home, minding your own business, when suddenly you're surrounded by police cars. You're pulled from your vehicle, handcuffed, and told you're under arrest for a crime you know nothing about. This isn't a scene from a movie. This was the terrifying reality for Robert Williams, a man from Detroit. His life was turned upside down by a single piece of flawed technology, a facial recognition algorithm. Let's rewind a bit. On a quiet evening in October 2018, two expensive watches were stolen from a Shinola store in Detroit. The store's security cameras captured a grainy image of the suspect. The Detroit Police Department, like many others across the country, turned to facial recognition software to identify the man in the video. They fed the low-quality image into their system, and the algorithm spat out a match, Robert Williams. There was just one massive problem. Robert Williams was innocent. He had an alibi. He was nowhere near the store when the theft occurred, but the computer said it was him. Based solely on this digital accusation, without any further human verification or investigation, a warrant was issued for his arrest. So, in January 2020, over a year after the crime, Robert found himself in a police interrogation room. An officer slid to photos across the table. One was the blurry security footage of the suspect. The other was Robert's driver's license photo. The officer asked, "Is this you?" Robert picked up the picture of the actual thief and said, "No, this is not me." I hope you don't think all black people look alike. It was a chilling moment. The officer, seemingly confused, admitted that the computer must have gotten it wrong. Just like that. An apology for upending a man's life, for terrifying his family, for treating him like a criminal. Robert was held for 30 hours before being released. The charges were eventually dropped, but the damage was done. He had a criminal record, even if temporary. He had the trauma of being wrongfully arrested in front of his wife and two young daughters. His work was disrupted. His reputation was stained. All because of a faulty algorithm. Robert's story isn't an isolated incident. It's a powerful warning about the dark side of facial recognition technology. We often think of technology as objective and infallible, but that's a dangerous misconception. These systems are created by humans and trained on datasets. And if that data is biased, the results will be biased too. Studies have consistently shown that many facial recognition systems have significantly higher error rates for women, older people, and especially people of color. A landmark study by the National Institute of Standards and Technology found that some algorithms misidentified black and Asian faces up to 100 times more often than white faces. Why does this happen? Often, it's because the databases used to teach these AIs are overwhelmingly made up of images of white men. The systems simply don't have enough data to accurately identify everyone else. This isn't just a technical glitch, it has profound real-world consequences. It means that people from minority communities are at a much higher risk of being falsely accused of crimes they didn't commit, just like Robert Williams. It creates a two-tiered system of justice, where your likelihood of being misidentified by the police depends on the color of your skin. The way this technology is used is also deeply concerning. In Robert's case, the police relied almost exclusively on the algorithms match. They didn't do the basic detective work of checking his alibi or finding other corroborating evidence before making an arrest. The machine became the judge and jury. This is a terrifying trend that some call automation bias, the tendency for humans to overtrust the outputs of an automated system, even when it's wrong. And it's not just about wrongful arrests. Facial recognition technology opens the door to mass surveillance on an unprecedented scale. Imagine a world where cameras on every street corner can identify and track every person in real time. Where your movements are logged every time you leave your house. Where your attendance at a protest, a religious service, or a political rally is recorded and stored in a government database. This isn't science fiction. This technology exists today, and it's being deployed in cities around the world, often with little public debate or oversight. This kind of surveillance has a chilling effect on freedom. If you know you're always being watched, would you feel as free to express your opinions, to assemble with others, to challenge authority? It threatens the very foundations of a democratic society, which relies on the ability of its citizens to speak and act freely without fear of government reprisal. The case of Robert Williams was a wake-up call. It led to a lawsuit filed by the ACLU on his behalf, arguing that his arrest violated his constitutional rights. It sparked a national conversation about the dangers of this technology. In response to the growing backlash, some cities like San Francisco, Boston, and Portland have taken the bold step of banning police use of facial recognition altogether. Some major tech companies, including Amazon, Microsoft, and IBM, have also paused or stopped selling their facial recognition software to police departments, acknowledging the technology's flaws and potential for misuse. But the fight is far from over. Many police departments continue to use the technology, often in secret, without any clear rules or regulations. The temptation to use a tool that promises to solve crimes quickly is strong, even if that tool is unreliable and discriminatory. So, what can be done? First, we need transparency. The public has a right to know if and how their local police are using facial recognition. We can't have a meaningful debate if the technology is being used in the shadows. Second, we need strong regulations. There should be an absolute ban on using facial recognition for real-time, mass surveillance. And for any other use, like identifying a suspect from a photo, there must be strict rules. An algorithm's match should never be enough to justify an arrest. It should only ever be considered a tip, one that requires significant human investigation and other evidence to be acted upon. Third, we need to demand accountability. When the technology fails and an innocent person's life is ruined, there must be consequences. The police department, the software company, they all need to be held responsible. Robert Williams was lucky in a sense. The evidence of his innocence was clear, but what happens when it isn't? What happens when it's one person's word against a machine that people are programmed to trust? Robert's own words sum it up perfectly. He said, "I never thought I'd have to explain to my daughters why Daddy got arrested." How do you explain to two little girls that a computer got it wrong, but the police listened to it anyway? His story is a human story. It's about the real-world cost of our blind faith in technology. It reminds us that behind every data point, every algorithm, and every automated decision, there are human lives at stake. As we rush forward into an increasingly automated future, we have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to sacrifice for the illusion of security and convenience? Are we willing to trade our freedom, our privacy, and the principle of innocence until proven guilty for a flawed and biased machine? The story of Robert Williams isn't just his story. It's a warning for all of us about the world we are building one camera and one algorithm at a time. It's a call to action to demand that technology serves humanity, not the other way around. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please share this video and join the conversation. Let's make sure that justice is never left to a machine. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the issues that shape our world.